Hey guys, it's Lukyan, and today I'm going to be doing my January book haul of 2018, telling you guys all the books that I bought in the month of January. If you're wondering why my cheeks are so red, I have really bad windburn because it's been really windy here in New York, so my cheeks are just suffering. But I have 18 books here, which, I mean, is a lot, but I made sure that all of them were on some sort of sale, so that's good. But 18 books is a lot to show you. I'm probably only going to be giving you 3 to 4 sentences about each book. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Oh, also just a little side note, I am going to be talking about these books in the order that I bought them. The first book that I got was Given to the Sea by Mindy McGinnis. This book is about a civilization, and one of the civilizations, long ago in their history, there was a tidal wave that wiped out most of the people in that island. So every generation there is a given who walks into the sea to keep the sea happy. It seems really interesting, and I've never read of a civilization that kind of just has some weird tradition before, so I'm excited for this one. Next, I have The Unbound by Victoria Schwab. This is the second book in the Archive series, and I have not read the Archive yet, but I saw this book on Book Outlet for $3, and I took advantage because if you have Book Outlet and you see a book that you want, you have to take that immediately or other people will buy it before you. But basically the series is about a girl named Mackenzie Bishop who is a keeper, and keepers' jobs are to keep the histories, who are the dead people, from escaping the archive, and if they do escape the archive, they can be violent. So it sounds really interesting and something that I've never read of. Next, I have Batman Nightwalker by Marie Lu. This is a signed copy, actually. I'll show you. And this book is the second book in the DC Icon series. The first book was Wonder Woman Warbringer, which I have right here, and basically 4 authors teamed up to write 4 different books about 4 different superheroes, and this is the second book in that series. Next, I have The Goose Girl by Shannon Hale. This book is about a girl who learns that she has this power where she can speak to animals, and when her mother sends her away to be in a foreign land, she finds herself at the mercy of a silver-tongued lady-in-waiting who leads a mutiny that leaves her alone, destitute, and fleeing for her life. I've heard really good things about this book and Shannon Hale's writing, especially from Haley from Haley and Bookland. Next, I have a really hyped YA sci-fi book, and that is Unearthed by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. I don't know much about this book other than it's basically about Earth intercepts a message from this planet called Gaia, and then there are these 2 people that go to Gaia for different reasons, and then they meet up, and then they work together. And it's told in 2 POVs, and all I know is that. And I've been getting more into sci-fi recently, and also I just heard so many good things about this book, so I had to pick it up. Next, I have such a hyped YA sci-fi book, and that is Zenith by Sasha Alsberg and Lindsay Cummings. I went to a signing for this book. It says Lukyan, Fly True, and then both of their signatures, and I'm just so excited to read this book. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews. There are negative reviews and positive reviews, but I'm just going to see what I like. Next, I have Beneath the Sugar Sky by Shauna McGuire. This book is, this series rather, is about different children who go to magical lands, and they enter through a doorway, and then they come back to Earth and they get sent to Eleanor West's Home for Wayward Children, where they kind of get snapped back to reality. It seems like a really fun fantasy whimsical novel. I'm flying through these books way quicker than I expected, which is good. Next, I have Solo by Kwam Alexander and Mary Rand Hess. I got this book and I just read what it said on the dust jacket, and then I looked through the book and I realized that it was told in verse. And if you don't know what told in verse means, it's basically told in poetry. And I have also heard that Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds is told in verse, so I want to pick that up soon, maybe this weekend, because I'm filming this Saturday morning. I literally just woke up and I had to just throw on a shirt, and I was like, I'm ready to film. But I do not remember much about this book other than the fact that it's told in verse and it's a contemporary book about a guy who really likes music. Next, I have Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. I just have the dust jacket, but I almost forgot about this book because I'm currently reading it. But this book is about a murder that happened in 1936, and then this girl goes to the school where it happened at, and she tries to solve the murder, and then the murderer comes back, and she's trying to solve a bunch of stuff, and it's really interesting so far, and I'm really enjoying it. And I will be giving you my thoughts in my February wrap-up, because I'm definitely going to be finishing it soon, because I am absolutely loving it. Next, I have The Murder Complex by Lindsay Cummings. I got this book because I just saw that Lindsay Cummings wrote it. Like, I've heard about it before Zenith, and I was like, you know, I read more into the book, and I was like, I'm gonna get it. It's really cool because there's a barcode on the side, and it's because this is like a dystopian world and everyone has barcodes on their forehead. And you probably can't see, but she has a barcode on her forehead. This is told in two perspectives as well, and the main hook for this book is that the death rate is higher than the birth rate, which just seems like a really cool dystopian book. And I was never really into dystopian. I mean, I read The Hunger Games and Divergent, but the only Hunger Games book that blew me away was Catching Fire. And then I was kind of done with dystopian, but that was 2 or 3 years ago, so I'm ready to jump back into the genre. Next, I have 13 Little Blue Envelopes and The Last Little Blue Envelope, both by Maureen Johnson. I actually already read 13 Little Blue Envelopes, and it is about a girl named Ginny whose Aunt Peg and her are really close, and one day her Aunt Peg just vanishes off to Europe, and then Ginny gets a postcard from her aunt. And the one weird thing about that postcard is that her aunt has been dead for 3 months. And the second weird thing is that there are instructions to receive 12 other letters, and there is $1,000 in cash for a passport and a plane ticket to Europe. So it is a really cool traveling, backpacking Europe story, and I really enjoyed it, and I will be talking about it more in my January wrap-up. But I loved this so much that I had to get the sequel, The Last Little Blue Envelope, because this book left on a really bad cliffhanger. This book is a lot shorter than I expected it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a little bit over the size of 13 Little Blue Envelopes, but it's actually shorter. But I really like these new covers that they did for this series, or else I probably wouldn't have picked it up because I never knew anything about it until I saw the cover, and I was like, oh, that's intriguing. So I looked at the cover and I read the book, or the back of the book, and I was like, this is interesting. I can't really tell you much about this book without spoiling 13 Little Blue Envelopes, but I might do a review on both of these books once I finish this book, because I read 13 Little Blue Envelopes on audiobook and it really enhanced the experience, and I'm currently listening to this one on audiobook. I'm not that far, I'm on page 30, but I'm enjoying it so far, which is good. Next, I have 2 poetry books that I already read. The first is Sea of Strangers by Long Leave. I have so many tabs in this book, and I talked about this book in my January wrap up. I don't know if this is going up before or after that video, but I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars, and it was so beautiful. Next, I have another book of poetry, which is Helium by Rudy Francisco. I read this book in January as well, and I talked about it in my January wrap up, but this was just a solid book of poetry, and I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Next, I have Misery by Stephen King. I want to read a bunch of his books this year just because I'm starting to get more interested in horror, because I'm still a really bad chicken, but now I kind of understand that it's all made up. But this is about a best-selling author named Paul Sheldon who gets in a car accident, and then this woman, Annie, comes to his rescue and brings him to her house in the middle of nowhere and starts to treat him. But when she finds out that he's about to kill off the main character in his Misery series, Misery Chastain, she gets really pissed and she starts to torture him. And it says on the back, Annie wants Paul to write his greatest work just for her. She has a lot of ways to spur him on. One is a needle, another is an axe, and then there's the blowtorch. It just seems so riveting and creepy at the same time, and I heard really good things from Julia over at Julia Sapphire. Any people that I mentioned in this video will be linked in the description box, so you can check them out because I love any single person that I mention. Next, I have another book of poetry that I already read, and that is A Beautiful Composition of Broken by R.H. Sin. This is just another book of poetry, and it's really long, and I thought it was kind of going to drag and I was going to start getting disinterested with the metaphors that this book was taking, but no, I could read honestly 700 more pages with this book. I will be talking about it in my January wrap-up, so again, look out for that. But I did really enjoy this book, and I tabbed it a lot, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Next, I have a book that I received from the January Owl Crate, and I know what you're thinking, like, where is the January Whimsify unboxing book? But I actually haven't received that box, and it's already February 3rd, so whenever the box arrives, I will film my unboxing for it. But for now, it's probably going to be in my February book haul, because both of the Whimsify boxes that I've been getting have been arriving late. So, whatever. I'm just a little bit salty, but it's fine. But anyway, the book that I have to show you is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. This is signed as well by Holly Black, and this is the Owl Crate exclusive cover, and I really love it. And what I know about this book is that Jude's parents die, and then she has to go to the Court of Fairy and save someone, and also save the Court of Fairy. So it's kind of giving me ACOTAR vibes with also a little bit of dystopian, and I'm really hoping this book doesn't have like the, oh my god, what is it called? It's like lost parent syndrome, or I don't know, but I really hope this book doesn't suffer from that. It's a lot shorter than I actually thought it would be. I thought it would be like a 500-page high fantasy book, but no, it's a little bit over 350 pages. So I'll probably get this on audio once I finish the last little blue envelope and just hopefully fly through it. And the last book that I have to show you is Royce Rolls by Margaret Stoll. This book is about Bentley Royce, who her and her family are on a show called Rolling with the Royces, and the funny thing about this book is that everyone in her family is named after a car. So she is Bentley Royce, her mother is Mercedes Royce, her brother is Maybach Royce, and her sister is Portia Royce. So I just thought that was a fun little tidbit. But anyway, this book is about the reality TV show family, and she secretly does not want to be on the show, and then when there's rumors that there won't be a 6th season, she gets really excited, and she just doesn't let anyone know that she's excited. It seems really fun, and I mean, I don't really like reality TV shows, but my sister used to really like them, and I would just watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians with her, and I think that is going to bring back a lot of, this book is about to bring back a lot of memories. I cannot speak today, but I'm really excited for this book. I feel like it's just going to take the reality TV show, like I don't know, effect, and just crumple it down to the floor. And also the tagline for this book is reality scripted, so I think that's really funny. And on the back, instead of the authors giving blurbs, they're actually talking about the reality TV show. It seems like a really fun contemporary book that I'm going to enjoy. So that is it for my January book haul. Tell me if you read any of the books in this haul. Tell me if you bought any of the books in this haul. Tell me what books you're excited to buy, like new releases, or just books that you haven't bought yet that you're excited to. If you want to follow me on any of my social media, all of my links are in the description box. That is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!